the world turns easy.
Hello everybody! Before I put this computer back to the cabinet, I would like to tell you a personal story about this computer, Atari ST 1040, because this computer really changed my life. I'm coming from East Germany, from the former GDR. And in this part of the world, it was quite difficult to buy some MIDI equipment and also computers. Of course, computers are available in universities, in high schools and also in factories. But the computer systems were simple Z80s computer system, 8-bit computer systems, and also, of course, very limited number and for a special reason, because they are for research and some other things, but not for private use like music. And in the mid-80s, I was very interested in music, in electronic music. I learned piano as a child, and of course, the synthesizers, the 80s, it was the time of synthesizers, and I was very interested in. And that's why I'm reading the books. This was my first book, Musikelektronik in German, music electronics. And of course, it was very clear, if you want, or if I would like to make some electronic music, I have to learn electronics. And this was my book, what I learned in the mid-80s. The former GDR was a domestic economy. That means we had money, but not to buy Atari or Commodore computers. And that's why we could learn, of course, the computer languages and so on, but only in the university and not for applications like MIDI. And in the year 89, the GDR was collapsing and the two German parts are unified. And for us, for me, it was the possibility to buy something which was impossible before. And one of the first investments what I did was this computer, Atari ST 1040. 1 megabyte RAM. And the big advantage of this computer was it was the only computer having MIDI, musical instruments, digital interface. And this was the topic I was interested in. And that's why the price was, for me, I was a student at this time, very high, 1,000 Deutschmarks, approximately $500, or a little bit more like this. And so, then I had this computer and nothing else. And my first intention was, together with my friend, Uwe Bayer, also a student of physics, to write a MIDI program. And we had some first success. But then we have seen what others did, as for example, Cubase was just available at this time. Or also Creator from the company C-Lab. My fascination was producing music. This was my goal and not programming computers. And that's why I decided simply to buy a software. And my first software was Cubase. And of course, Cubase was available at this time for Atari as well. And I started with Cubase. But then I changed to Notator because this was more fitting to my own application. This Atari was my first music production tool. And this is Notator SL, the latest version of the Notator software. The company at this time was C-Lab. C-Lab, you see here? Can you see it? Yes. And when the program starts up, welcome to the wonderful world of Emagic. Emagic was the successor of C-Lab, the next company. The same persons, and the same developers. The developers of the Notator Creator system are Gerhard Lingeling and Chris Adam. And they are, until today, the developers of Logic Pro, all right? Of course, the team is much bigger now, but this is the start of everything. Welcome to the wonderful world of Emagic. I hope you enjoy working with creator Notator, and we will support you making your music. And support is a good point because as you see here, there was also a sticker here on the left side with the hotline, the Emagic hotline. I never used it, but I think it was also a great support. And this is the owner's manual. As you see, a huge amount of functions. And there's one interesting detail here. The number is 04101. This is the number of the town Rellingen in the north part of Germany, some kilometers north from Hamburg. The same city like Yamaha, Germany. Yamaha, Germany and Emagic, later Apple, are in the same city north from Hamburg. And the third point is Steinberg is directly in Hamburg. That means all the three companies, Emagic, Apple, Yamaha, Steinberg, all of them are in Hamburg. If you upgrade to Notator Logic, at this time Logic was a successor of Notator, keep this version because it runs with Log3, Logic's MIDI interface, and copy protection. Log3, what you see here on the left side, was a combination of copy protection, hardware copy protection, and MIDI interface. And additionally, there was the so-called Uniter 2, offering also MIDI outs and also two additional in ports. SMPTE synchronization, which was at this time very important because there was no hard disk recording, right? Everything has to be synchronized with tape machines at this time. And this export from Emagic connected with the RS232 interface, the modem interface, offering 3 additional MIDI out ports. That means this Atari, what you see here, has 8 MIDI out ports. That means 8 times 16 MIDI tracks, 128 MIDI channels, 128 tracks. Atari ST has no hard disk, only one disk drive. On this disk is the program. You have to load the program. And after loading, we load the song like this. You hear the disk drive, all right? And here we are. Okay, this Atari is connected with Genus 2. And here on the left side, you see the patterns. Here are the tracks, bass drum. This is the phrase here. And you also see that the system is very quick, right? And we can edit everything. Here are the notes, also the score, yeah. And yeah, it works really fine and absolutely quick, yeah. Okay, so let's go back. And here on the left side, as mentioned before, are the patterns. And using the patterns, you create a song. This was the concept of Notator SL. And the successor of Notator SL was then Logic. And Logic was also available for Atari ST. On this computer, Logic was already running. And this is the reason why this computer really changed my life, because everything I learned about MIDI was using this computer. I learned everything with the Atari ST, from the basics of event types, how to work and how to transform MIDI events and everything, and the complete understanding what MIDI is and what we can do with MIDI I learned with this computer. Later I had many other computers. I had several PCs, many Apple computers I don't count anymore. But the basic thing to learn how to work with MIDI, I learned with this computer. Next step, Logic. Logic was invented also for Atari ST, and I really learned the Logic program with this Atari computer, and also all the things like, for example, the environment, which was the most interesting thing at this time. The Logic environment was already there, and I think since that time there was no single day that I didn't use Logic. I produced a lot of music since then, a lot of music for TV, for cinema, for advertisement, for artists, you name it.
Right, check this. Bist du bereit für den heißen Trip in die fetten Städte der Welt? Ja, dann mach jetzt mit. Liegt dir Traumurlaub aus bei Expedia.de. Hey! Be cool, be star. Oh, yeah. Hey, frag nochmal, suchst du Strand da, Sonne satt da, Last Minute da, für super wenig Zaster. Klick mal schnell auf www.expedia.de.
Western Barbecue, Whopper, durchs Feuer musst du gehen. Western Barbecue, Whopper, ich freu mich, dich zu sehen. Exquisat, keiner schmeckt mir so wie dieser. Exquisat, keiner schmeckt mir so wie dieser. The world turns easy for you and for me. There's so many places we'd like to be. The world turns easy.
Everything was created with Logic Audio, of course with later versions, but the starting point was this computer, and that's why this computer changed my life. Thanks for watching. See you next time.